Around the same time, Luxon Slavia attacked the fortress of Kushkan in central Serbia. Battles were also raging in the Far East. There in the frozen lands of northeastern Serbia, the infamous Cold Ones had risen once again. Long ago, the people of that region angered the Witch of Ice, while the 7 primordial witches, in a fury, she cursed them for all generations. The curse made their bodies emit a freezing aura. Wherever they went, winter followed. But it also gave them mastery over ice itself, and complete resistance to the cold. With these powers, they became known as the Cold Ones. They ruled the Northeast for centuries. There's no blanketing everything in its path. But when the Empire of Trabzon expanded northward, it broke their rule and forced them back to their ancestral citadel, Zioza, the Ice Castle. The Cold Ones came under the Empire's jurisdiction. Outside of their imperial duties, they kept to themselves. Once proud and warlike, the Cold Ones became calm and obedient, content to live quietly within their frozen homeland of Zioza. Now, with the Empire weakened, a young and fiery leader named Donny Krivon sought to reclaim the Cold Ones' lost glory. He united the Cold Ones under one banner, the Frozen Union, and launched an invasion against the Empire's border provinces. The Empire's response came from the Duchy of Rosendal, led by Duke Varosa Rosemary, ruler of the fortress Rosengard and the wealthy trade city of Unera. Unera was the heart of northern commerce, its river routes bringing riches that Rosendal could not afford to lose. In the summer of 1002, 30,000 Cold Ones besieged Unera. The garrison held firm and sent desperate pleas for help. Varosa answered with 30,000 legionnaires. In the Battle of Unera, the Cold Ones brought with them monstrous ice beasts, creatures they had tamed from the deepest depths of the northern glacier, where no ordinary human could ever reach. The beasts crashed into the front lines, tearing through men with terrifying ease, while the Union's warriors froze and shattered foes with their chilling magic. Seeing the battle turn dire, Varosa gave the signal. From the back line, volleys of fire bottles arced through the sky and burst across the field, engulfing the frozen battlefield in a sea of flames. Meeting their greatest weakness, the Cold Ones' formation fell into chaos. Seizing the moment, Varosa led a countercharge, his blade cleaving two beasts and proved alike. As their comrades burned and fell, the Cold Ones' resolve wavered. Panic spread. and one by one they fled into the snow, leaving behind a field of ice and blood. Ynera was saved as the Frozen Union was dealt its greatest defeat. Donnie was not one to give up easily. Over the next year, both sides fought bitterly. The border shifted and settlements changed hands many times. By summer 1003, Rosendale finally broke the stalemate. The Cold Ones were pushed all the way back to their homeland beneath the icy walls of Ziotza. It seemed as if Rosendale had finally subdued the plague that was the Cold Ones for good. However, that autumn, while Rosendale's forces were concentrated in Ziotza, the northern elves of Roma to the west suddenly invaded. They stormed the city of Ynera, slaughtering most of its people and enslaving the survivors. Losing its northern stronghold, the Rosendale dukedom was forced to give up the lands they gained from the Frozen Union and retreat to the south. The Frozen Union and Roma then joined forces and drove the exhausted loyalists back to Rosendale capital, Rosengard. There, Varosa made his last stand. In the first siege of Rosengard, the defenders fought bravely and repelled the attackers. But the duchy was left in ruins. Desperate, Varosa turned to his ally, the land of Mandio. Mandio's capital, Pigaten, was the oldest city in all Searcher. Founded by the first human sage, the pioneer of human civilization, it stood as the monument to knowledge and enlightenment. At its heart lay the great Mandio Library, the largest archive on the continent. No one truly knew when the library was built. Even in the earliest records of mankind, it was already there. Some believed it was not made by human hands at all. Inside, millions of books and scrolls filled its endless halls, preserving tens of thousands of years of history from every race and kingdom. People whispered that the library held the knowledge of the universe itself, secrets so vast that even the wisest dare not uncover them all. Its governor, Grandmaster Leonor Liu Wen has once been a man of great wisdom and integrity. But as the years passed, ambition began to cloud his heart, and whispers of greed crept into his thoughts. Still, when the Duchy of Rosendale called for aid, Liu Wen answered. He sent 20,000 men to reinforce the loyalist army at Rosengard. In the second siege of Rosengard, the defenders were being overwhelmed by the firepower of the elven archers and the ice magic of the cold ones. Out of nowhere, Mandio forces hit the attackers on the side. Securing a Pyrrhic victory over the elves and the cold ones. But as Liu Wen gazed upon the ruined city, something inside him broke. The voice of temptation that had haunted him for years finally took hold. In autumn 1004, after yet another victory against the Frozen Union in the third siege of Rosengard, Liu Wen struck. Without warning, his reinforcements turned on their allies, claiming that Rosendale had secretly conspired with the Frozen Union to deceive the Emperor. Chaos erupted. The Rosendale soldiers, caught completely off guard, were cut down by the very men who had fought beside them. Duke Varosa and his entire family were slain. Within hours, Rosengard fell, not to invaders, but to betrayal. When the blood finally dried, Rosendale was no more. Its land swallowed whole by Mandio. But guilt soon consumed Liu Wen. Realizing the horror of what he'd done, he sent a letter to the capital pleading for forgiveness. Instead, Grand Duke Averio denounced him as a traitor. Mandio was stripped of his titles and branded a rebel state. Meanwhile, to the south, the Kingdom of Catalan seized the opportunity. Capturing the stronghold of Sesca from the Earldom of Caesarea in a swift campaign. By the end of 1004, the Empire had lost nearly all of its eastern territories, consumed by rebellion, betrayal, and war. The once mighty realm was bleeding on every front, and the Great War of the Crown showed no sign of ending.